listeners, welcome to Old, Fat, and Fasting. I'm Krista, and I'm not even going to try to point at her because I always get it wrong. That is my sister Lori. We are old, we are fat, and we are fasting, and we both fast for weight loss and for health.
Mm-hmm. Today's episode is going to be the first in sort of two parts. It's going to be two different videos on fasting and sleep, but left screen, right screen. So today is my side of the screen. I can't remember if I'm on the left or right. On my monitor, I'm on the right. So I think on YouTube, I'm on the left. I'm not even sure.
I don't know.
It's going to be about how fasting affects your actual sleep and things that tips you can do for sleep. When we do Krista's side of the screen, it's going to be more of the chemical sciencey stuff that happens with your body and your sleep with fasting. And that will be, I think, a week from today's episode ish.
That's the plan. Yeah.
That's the plan. We haven't signed any papers or documents,
right.
but and one thing I do want to say, everything that I'm going to talk about today comes out of this Life in the Fasting Lane book, which it's such a good book. It's such a good book, but it's definitely your mileage may vary because some of the things that they say in this book actually are the opposite for Steve and me.
Right.
So I'll be anxious to see how these things work for you as we talk about this. Yeah. So this is on page 147 of Life in the Fasting Lane, tips for getting to sleep after a full day of fasting. So 24-ish hours. Number one is remind yourself that the sooner you get to sleep, the sooner you will eat in the morning. That one doesn't apply to us because we break our fasts at dinner.
Oh.
So, and it's also not something really that we struggle with.
Yeah, so a couple of things. One, I wanted to say is some people have more trouble with sleep when they start fasting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because this is the only sciencey thing I'll say, I promise. And that's mostly because when you fast, it is stressful to your body to some extent, which raises your cortisol levels. And higher cortisol can make you more alert at nighttime. So some people have that, and some people have better sleep when they're fasting. So it's another one of those things. You just kind of see how it affects you.
Yeah, this is October. We started in March. I can't remember if it messed with our sleep in the beginning or not.
And it's been different for me this time. The first time that I fasted, my sleep was horrible when I started. But this time it's actually been better. So I don't know what made the difference.
The first time being last year when you started.
Yeah.
Okay, not when you first started on this.
Right. Sorry. Okay. Thanks for clarifying that. Yeah. So like a year and a half ago when I did it, my sleep was terrible. But I can also say, like, I didn't feel exhausted during the day. Fasting has always given me more energy. So I wasn't sleeping as much as at night, but I didn't feel fatigued during the day. So it's different for everybody. But as far as the thinking about the sooner you go to bed, the sooner you can eat, I'm not right now, but I used to break my fast in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So that was helpful for me to kind of give myself that little reassurance. As soon as you can get up, you can have whatever it is that I had planned for breakfast. So
I know on days that, like, I broke my fast last night after doing a 48-hour fast. And days that I know I'm not going to eat at all, I go to bed early because I just don't want to think about being hungry.
I do too. I do that too.
So, but I don't want to, I love the book, but I don't want to think about the sooner I go to sleep, the sooner I can eat. I want to avoid any thoughts of food. I told you earlier that there are YouTube channels we watch and we will skip episodes because they talk about food. And it's like, I don't even want to think about the cereal that you're talking about, or, which Hostess cake is better, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I don't want to think about what I'm going to eat tomorrow, because that just makes me hyper focused on food.
And that's another difference between us. And I've always thought it's really strange, Krista, that you do that. I watch a lot of food shows. I watch, Food Network shows all the time. I watch like Great British Baking Show probably an unhealthy number of times. And it doesn't bother me. And I don't know why. But yeah.
It does. I mean, like, I watch any Gordon Ramsay show I watch, and those are tempting to me, but I think Good Mythical Morning is a channel that I absolutely love, and Steve does too. And they do a lot of junk food, and I love chips, and they do a lot of chip things. Anyway, we're going off topic. We're rambling like we do. Number 2 on the list is make sure you are well hydrated. Some people find a mug of warm caffeine-free tea like chamomile helps them to feel fuller. I know you're a big hot tea drinker.
Yeah.
And you're much better than me about making sure you drink enough. I just drink when I'm thirsty. You're good about that.
Yeah. And I guess I haven't paid attention to whether or not it makes a difference with how I sleep, but it definitely makes a difference with my energy during the day. And I do at nighttime, sometimes I do chamomile tea, and then you can also get valerian root tea or valerian tea. And I drink that sometimes too.
I already get up a lot in the night. I'm afraid if I drink too much before bed, I'll get up even more. But I do have chamomile tea. Maybe I should do that at night instead of.
Yeah. And you could do it, not super close to going to bed. I try not to drink a lot of water right before I go to bed, because I don't want to wake up having to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. And I drink periodically all night long.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I keep a drink on my nightstand.
I do keep water by my bed, and I try to remember to drink at least a little bit of it when I wake up.
Yeah.
If I wake up. Yeah.
I might try chamomile tonight.
Yeah.
Number 3 is one that we do, and that is consider melatonin supplements if needed.
Yeah.
And I have taken something for sleep almost consistently for years now. I just can't. I wake up a lot if I don't. It's just like my body doesn't turn off. And we sleep with a box fan on. We even travel with a box fan and an audio book, or we'll tell Google to play music to help me sleep.
Right.
Otherwise my brain just doesn't, it focuses on something. So if I have some other audiobooks are my preference, then I have something else to focus on other than whatever's going through my mind at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I fall asleep with something playing a lot. Mine a lot of times is something that I'm watching before I go
into something over there is why I keep looking. Go ahead.
Okay.
Misty's up on something she never gets up on. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, hold on one second. I just got a message that my computer's about to die. So hold on.
Oh.
Okay.
Hi, Augie.
What was I saying? Oh, I'll go to bed and I'll take my computer and I'll watch something on TV when I get in bed. And I usually just leave it playing when I roll over to go to sleep. I do that a lot.
Helps your brain shut down.
Yeah, and it keeps me from, when I do wake up, thinking about something that's going to happen the next day, or those millions of things that go through your head.
Yep.
I can listen to that instead of thinking about whatever.
That's something Steve struggles with, and his doctor actually gave him something. He said that he would wake up to go to the bathroom at night, and he'd get back in bed and would start thinking about work.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't relax again after that.
Yeah.
So number 4, this is right up your alley, not mine. Warm baths are great, but are most helpful at least a few hours before bedtime.
Yeah, so I'd like to know what they mean by a few hours. What I've read is at least an hour and a half before bed. What I tend to do is I try to take a bath like about 7 o'clock. And then I get in bed about 8:30 and I'm probably asleep at 10-ish. So I guess I take my bath like 3 hours before I go to
That's a few
sleep.
hours. If I take a bath, I'm sick.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
I
not a
love a warm
bath.
bath.
Not a bath person.
And there are times now and then where I can get out of the bath and go right to sleep. It is so relaxing to me. I just love them.
Can't get
And I
in.
even sometimes I'll play an audible book while I'm in the tub. Or I've got a couple of meditation apps and they have like sleep stories or sleep music, or sometimes I'll play that while I'm in the tub.
Yeah. If I have a fever, I'll take a bath because I'm cold, but then I'm all whiny because I have to take the time to dry off and I just don't feel good. Or I took one the other night. My head really hurt and my back was sore, and I took a bath and I listened to Jack Johnson, which is Steve's relaxing music, or Mazzy Star, or Andrea Bocelli.
Or what?
Andrea Bocelli.
Oh, yeah.
I love opera music.
It's always the right time to listen to Andrea Bocelli.
Oh, he's lovely. Number 5, and we do not do this. Avoid computer, TV, or phone screens for a couple of hours before bed if possible. It's totally possible. I mean, we could not, but it's almost like an unwinding to our day.
But you do stop getting on your phone at a certain time.
Yeah, my phone automatically clicks over to do not disturb at 8:30 at night.
Yeah, see, and I need to start doing that because I'm pretty sure that's part of my sleep issues. Not that I was just saying my sleep's great with fasting. It is. But sometimes it takes me a while to get there.
Yeah.
And probably some of that is the fact that I'm playing solitaire on my phone like 10 minutes before I go to sleep.
Oh.
Yeah. So that is a habit I definitely need to break.
Yeah. Andrew watches YouTube in bed before he goes to sleep, and he doesn't sleep well. And I told him, try not doing YouTube because you're always thinking about the next video.
That's true.
Like when this is over, I'm going to watch this one that's over here on the side. I mean, do that if you're watching our channel, just keep watching. But, I feel like that is such an interactive thing to do.
Yeah, it keeps your brain engaged.
Yeah. I have to click next. I'm going to hit fast forward. I'm going to rewind. What did they say? Like right now we are rewatching Dexter because the reboot or the reboot, I guess it is a reboot, comes out next month. So we're catching up on that. But
yeah. And that's one reason that kind of my go-to show right now for watching in bed is, sorry, we ought to be sponsored by the Great British Baking Show.
We're not sponsored, but we could be.
No. But it's because I've seen them so many times. I know what's going to happen. I don't have to focus on it. Josh used to, I don't know if he still does. One of his all-time favorite shows is The Office.
I love that show.
And I don't know if it's streaming on any channels anymore, but when it was, he would turn on The Office to go to sleep because he liked the sound, but he knew all the episodes by heart. He knew what was going to happen.
Yep. And I do that when I'm sick. That I wasn't feeling well a couple of days last week and I stayed in bed. And this is my favorite time of year for TV and Halloween because it's all ghost stuff and stuff like that. So my go-to movies are the same thing when I'm on an airplane because I hate to fly, but I watch the same things. I watch Sinister and Grave Encounters. Watch both of those movies. They're amazing. Ethan Hawke, fantastic. But those and ER, because I've watched ER start to finish more times than I want to admit. And it's entertaining while I'm awake, but I don't fight going to sleep.
Right.
But anyway, Steve and I are watching Dexter. We watch TV in bed, and we usually do watch a couple of YouTube videos, but I usually roll over before Steve does. But another one is something you talked about a minute ago that you do in the bathtub. Number 6, try meditating, deep breathing, aromatherapy, reading, or whatever makes you feel restful. And I should read because I can usually only read a couple of pages before I fall asleep. Shay and I are both reading Little Women right now. It's my favorite book and she's never read it. So we're reading it together.
Oh,
But I can only read a couple of pages. So that's maybe what I should do.
yeah, I think Mom has said that too. She wants to read more so bad, but she's like, I read a couple of pages and I'm ready to go to sleep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I picked up Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil when we were in Savannah a week or two ago. I've never read that or seen the movie. So, but they talked about it. Every tourist thing you do talks about that movie.
You haven't seen the movie?
No.
Oh, you need to see the movie.
I know
I
what
haven't
it's
read the
about
book, but the
because
movie's good.
they talk about it on all the trolley stops. So I know what it's about. But
it is really good. Yeah. So when I do a bath, I don't do this all the time, but my favorite thing to do is really make it a pampering thing. So like my bathroom is right there. And so like what I'll do a lot of times, I did do this last night, is I'll leave the door open. I'll turn off the light in there, but I'll leave it on out here. So it's not totally dark. And I'll light a candle, like a lavender candle or something.
Oh, lovely.
And I'll put on my, either my relaxing music from a meditation app or a story from a meditation app or an Audible book or something. And I just close my eyes and
that's nice.
Yeah, it's nice little pampering and it relaxes me every time.
That sounds nice.
So
that sounds nice. Number 7, decide what you will eat for breakfast. Don't prepare it because you might end up shoving some into your mouth accidentally that night. And in parentheses, it has happened to me. Knowing what you are looking forward to, enjoying food-wise in the morning can make the hunger more bearable. That kind of goes back to number 1 for me, and that would not work for me.
Yeah. It does work for me.
It does for you.
I'd say in general, knowing what I'm going to eat next time I eat helps me in a lot of ways. And one of the reasons for that is something we've talked about before, is if I don't already know what I'm going to eat, I'm going to just grab whatever's convenient and eat it.
Yeah.
But also if I know I've got something that I really like to look forward to, that definitely helps.
I can't think about food.
Yeah.
The last thing is on page 197.
Okay.
Most people report having sleep issues during their first 2 weeks of intermittent fasting. This is probably going to step on the toes of your video. This is the result of your body adapting to the increased level of adrenaline that it produces while you fast. Create a calming, relaxing bedtime ritual to try to wind down. You might dim the lights, drink a cup of warm herbal tea, and curl up with a book until your body tells you it's ready to sleep. Avoid looking at screens. And it says in here, Krista, stop playing solitaire. Televisions, phones, laptops, tablets before bed, as they emit blue light that interferes with sleep. If sleeplessness persists, try taking a melatonin supplement, which we talked about earlier too.
Yeah, and I'll say this to Greg, our brother. He doesn't fast, but he did tell me a few months ago that he used to fall asleep watching something on his computer before he went to sleep, and he was going through a bad time of sleep, and he stopped doing that, and like immediately he noticed that he was sleeping better. So
interesting.
Yeah, so it's another one of those things. Try out the tips, see if they work for you. They may or may not work for you, but
yeah, it's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah, and I wanted to say too, so it said that your adrenaline goes up when you start fasting. And that's because your body is under some stress, but I don't want people to think that's a bad thing. Your body is also under stress when you're exercising, right? Yeah. So there's good stress and there's bad stress. So that all evens out after you do it for a while.
Yeah. All right. That'll wrap it up for this episode. And we will get into the more sciencey stuff of fasting and sleep. And Krista's video in a week is the plan right now. Yeah. So we'll tell everybody goodbye and happy fasting. See you next time.
Bye-bye.